It's first pitch. It's Monday, and I'm excited. I got the legend himself, Dave Cokin, with us, my regular co-host Monday to Friday, and Tony Finn, the hottest baseball capper around. Well, at least at WagerTalk.com, because Dr. Chuck is still killing it over at Sports Memo. Boys, we got lots to talk about. We're going to go through every baseball game, top to bottom today. But before we get into that, I want to tell everybody what's on tap, video-wise, and also what's going on at WagerTalk and SportsMemo.com. First, a hello to you, Dave. Nice hat.
Thank you.
Okay, that was good. That was so loquacious. Tony, what's going on with you, brother?
Same old grind. We're getting here, as Dave can attest to, we're finally warming up here in the desert. So
I'll say.
it's going to be a great summer. I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent. Okay, so I have a 5-unit play tonight in the NBA. That to me is a must-play bet. Head over to WagerTalk.com. It's only $9. It also comes with my baseball on the house. I'm winning in baseball. I'm on a 5-1 NBA run. That is must-play, guys. So head over to WagerTalk.com and check out my 5-unit NBA play. As well, Andrew McGinnis at SportsMemo.com. His CFL package is up. It's on a huge special right now. Regular $799 for the season. It's $299 for the next few days. Use the promo code CFL299, CFL299. And Andrew is incredible in Canadian football. I told all of you listeners to play Bobby Liggs' WNBA. He's on a huge run in WNBA. He's over 61% in 3 years of selling WNBA plays. And Andrew is the same in Canadian football. This is the easiest sport to win at in the world, period, Canadian football. So head over and take a look at sportsmemo.com. And last but not least, Tony Finn. A big ticket 5-unit play in baseball tonight. $9 at WagerTalk.com. Tell us about your streaks. Tell us about your runs. I'll leave it in your hands.
The run, it started really well, and it's still going okay. It's been kind of pedestrian. I've leveled a little bit out. Had some beats that as we all do during a season, especially with pitching the way it is in bullpens. But 9-2 with MLB big tickets dating back to last year, and hitting about, I think I'm 70 and 42 to start the season. So a nice bottom line increase. So
that's awesome, dude. Dave, do you have a good weekend?
No, I didn't have a good baseball weekend. Did okay with the hockey game, and the bitch was just on my personal bets. I played 2 golfers every week in the whatever PGA event is taking place. Took Shane Lowry at a little more than 40-1. Took Wade Simpson at 22-1, and they finished tied for second.
That doesn't sound like a cash.
What was the place money on that?
For those, and I'll include myself in this group, for those who are able to play top fives, there was money to be made. But, to come that close on 2 pretty good-sized prices, and Rory McIlroy was just unbelievable yesterday at the Canadian Open. He clearly was the best player on the course. He was just great, and that's the way it rolls. But I'm pretty locked in on the golf, and I will post something at WagerTalk as a free play for the U.S. Open. I haven't decided what yet.
Okay, well, there you go. And we'll also talk a little bit of golf on Friday. I guess we should do like Wednesday golf day, Wednesday golf moment with Dave Cokin. Dave, before we get into baseball, real quick, Game 7 in NHL, Wednesday, Blues or minus 160 Bruins?
I'll end up passing. I got paid last night with a half-unit play on the Bruins. I'm happy with that. I think the Bruins will win, but I'm not going to be laying that kind of a price to find out.
New York Mets, New York Yankees, the Subway Series in effect. Yankees are 40-24 on the season. The Mets 1 game below 500. 71% of the money is coming in on the Yankees. They're minus 200. The over and under 9.5. Vargas versus Tanaka. Tony, I go to you first. Vargas has pitched outstanding his last 3 games. And Tanaka's been consistent all year. Talk to me.
I actually played Vargas in his last start, but there's a caveat to it, and that was that, and he did limit the Giants to 5 hits, a walk, and a complete game with 8 Ks. But this is the Giants. They slashed 223, 288. I think their slugging's right around 335. They have 13 home runs in over 700 at-bats against left-handed pitching. If you're looking to fade a team in general without any information, the Giants are that team to fade. However, Vargas, as good as he was, he has a huge line drive rate. He's got a minuscule BABIP, and him tossing the ball around Yankee Stadium is something I want nothing to do with.
Dave Cokin, what are your thoughts, brother?
I would look at the over. Just what Tony just said. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from Vargas. He's got that change up, and when he's throwing it well, he can be tough. But this is going to be a tough lineup for him. Tanaka's not in real good form right now. The splitter just is not diving like it's supposed to. Now, that can change on any one night, but based on what I see here, I think we've got a high-scoring game here, and I would lean to the over.
Dave Cokin, Tony Finn, the Prez, first pitch, Monday to Friday. You can get us at our WagerTalk channel, WagerTalk TV at YouTube. Dave, we'll go to you first on Philadelphia against Arizona. Arizona with an easy weekend playing the lowly, pathetic Toronto Blue Jays. They're 2 games above 500. They're playing Philly, and, Philly is 9 games above 500, but, only up about 5 units in money. We've got 75% of the money coming in on Philadelphia today. They're minus 140. The over and under is 9.5. Where are we going?
I priced the game at 135, and that's about where it is right now. So I think the Phillies have a good chance to win. Diamondbacks come in feeling good about themselves, though. They were struggling, and the right antidote for their ailments was playing the Toronto Blue Jays, who absolutely stink. And so they've got some positive momentum coming in. It's enough to keep me out of it. I don't really like the way Eichhoff has pitched. His last start was very good, but his 4 prior starts were not particularly good. So, and I'm not buying Clark to any extent. I think it's a good pass.
Tony, what do you think, brother?
Clark's been shuttled between AAA Reno, just north of us, and Arizona all season. He did limit the Dodgers in his last start to, I think, 2 earned runs over 5 innings, but before that he got absolutely smoked by the Rockies. This guy's pedestrian. He doesn't have a big swing and miss. Eichhoff, listen, he came in pretty hot. He's improved pitch mix, spin rate on his slider, which is really good. Unfortunately, he's been inconsistent, like Dave said. So if I'm playing here, I would back Phillies against Arizona.
St. Louis Cardinals on the road playing the Miami Marlins. Miami 17 games below 500, and they've only lost 4 units for their customers, for their bettors this year. 67% of the money coming in on St. Louis. They're minus 140. The over and under is 8.5. Miami back to their old forms, lost 4 games in a row. St. Louis swept by the Cubs. Waka versus Alcantara. Dave?
Okay, so here's the thing on Waka. Everybody knows about how he's really been struggling, and he got shuttled off to the bullpen in hopes, at least the Cardinals hoped, that he would get things straightened out. His first bullpen appearance was a total disaster. But last time out, Waka really threw it well. It was only 2 1/3 innings, but that might have been a little bit of a buy sign on Waka. It's enough for me to stay out of this game. I don't like the scheduling spot because the Cardinals are off the Sunday night game and traveling to face a Miami team that's staying at home. And Alcantara has pitched well lately for the Marlins. His game scores of late have been very encouraging.
Yep.
I also don't like the spot for the Marlins in the sense that they blew a game yesterday. They had a 4-run lead into the ninth inning. Sergio Romo comes in and blows it, and then they lose the game in extra innings. So there's a lot of negatives here. I think the most positive thing is that Walker really did throw it well out of the bullpen last start. What that does, in effect, is keep me out of the game because the first thing they looked at was actually maybe taking the price with the Marlins in the scheduling spot. But I did take a look at Walker's last bullpen performance, and I think that's enough to wave a red flag at me. In fact, it might be a buy sign on Walker. We'll have to wait and see. I'm going to stay out of this game, but I have a feeling Walker might pitch well.
Chris Sale against Mike Minor.
Wait a minute. Doesn't Tony get to say something?
Nah, I don't want to listen to him. He spelled shit wrong today. He annoyed me. Okay, Tony, go ahead, brother. I'm just kidding. Have you been reading your texts?
Well, I have been. And what's funny is we'll talk after this because it's really funny. I can't fix it. So let's go to
it's fixed.
Walker. Oh, okay. Well, I can't do it from my end. Walker has been disappointing, as Dave said this year. Listen, he's lost 2 miles an hour. He's lost velocity on his fastball the last 2 years. His BB to 9 innings pitched is atrocious, 5+. And I really like the Marlins spot here. I agree with Dave. Alcantara has been pitching really, really well. And if you look at his underlying peripherals, they're head and shoulders better than what Walker's done so far in 2019. A plus money situation. Actually, Alcantara is plus money on the season in all his starts, and obviously Walker is not. I'll take a plus money 140, 120, 130, 140, depending on your shop on Alcantara and the Marlins.
Dave, before we get into Sale versus Minor, can you handle first pitch Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday?
Yeah.
Okay, so you figure out who you want to have as your guest. I think Drew's going to do it one day. Tony's always around. Leonard, I'll leave it all to you, okay? Oh, but you need the software to upload it.
Yeah, you might want to have who's ever on with me uploading it.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Okay.
Otherwise, you probably get a blank screen.
We'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
Okay, Dave, let's talk about Chris Sale. He's really struggling. He's pitching well. His team is struggling to win with him on the mound.
Okay, well, that's not Sale's fault.
No, but, 2-7 on the year. Boston is 4-9 with him on the mound. And look, the last 3 games, his whip is under 1. His ERA is under 3. He's striking out a lot. He's back to form, and this Boston team still can't win with him pitching. Tonight, they're minus 260. There's some 236s on the board. It's all over the map. The over and under is 7.5. They're playing Texas. What do we do here? This is the total opposite of Kershaw right now.
I don't do anything. Because I'm not going against Sale. He's very capable of pitching a shutout. And Mike Minor's pitched well for the Rangers. So, you look at that and say, boy, that's tempting to take Texas. Well, it is. I can't deny that. And yet, I still make these projections, and a lot of them are based on the starting pitching in Texas. Boston still comes up as like a minus 220 here. So I don't think I'm getting enough with Texas to justify them. Although the thing on the Rangers is they played good ball. They almost came back and beat Oakland yesterday. Had a good weekend. One problem, though, is that this team, their lineup just is not as good against lefties. If you look at the configuration of their lineup, it's just not good against lefties, and a dominant lefty can shut them down. So I don't know where the Texas runs are going to come from tonight. The Boston runs, who knows? They might not get any either. I think you could probably make the best case for the under here.
Under 7.5 in an American League game
at Fenway, and that's
I was just going to say
enough
that.
To keep me out of it.
Yeah, at Fenway. It's crazy. And Chris Sale pitched a shutout last game against Kansas City. 8-0 win against Junis. Tony, what do we do here? I mean, you can't play against Chris Sale. And, Jesus, if you've been playing on Chris Sale this year, you've probably lost your entire bankroll.
This is a pass. I mean, if Boston was on the road and you could sneak in a run line play. As I mentioned many times, I don't play run lines on home teams for several reasons. But in this situation, Dave's right. Texas, their slash numbers against left-handers are not very good. And in truth, he's also correct about this under being really the most favorable option because Boston splits. They're so much better, you guys, against right-handed pitching than they are left-handed. Yeah. Yep.
Oakland on the road playing Tampa Bay, and Dave, you've been talking up Charlie Morton every time he's about to start, and rightfully so. 7-0 on the season, a 1 WHIP, a 2.3 ERA. Might be the best pitcher in all of baseball right now. Tampa Bay minus 220 at the most on an over and under at 8.5. And one of the things we've been talking about every show, at least I have, is although you don't like the run line and nobody wants to bet home teams on the run line, Tampa Bay is money on the run line. Is this the spot to take them?
No, not for me. I don't think there's any value in the runs line because it's not like you're getting a nice big plus 140 or something like that. I mean, if you're getting a good price, that'd be one thing, but you're not. Oakland will be sending Tanner Anderson to the mound. He's a first-time starter. Did have a little cup of coffee at Pittsburgh last year. He's been pitching in Las Vegas. It's really tough to judge PCL numbers, especially pitching to the Aviators, because this new ballpark. Well, Jesus, Tony, it might be even more. It might be even more offensive than Cashman was. I mean, the Bulls. They had a 26-11 game last week at the ballpark. So you really have to take Las Vegas pitching numbers with a grain of salt. Anderson's he's not a strikeout guy. He's a pitch to contact sinker ball type. Low 90s, has a slider to go with it. I don't think he's a big league starter, but the Rays haven't seen him. And we say this all the time. First-time starters can be perplexing for even the best hitters in the world. And that to me is just to keep away from the game sign because there's no chance of going against Charlie Morton.
Tony, what do you like in this game?
Just to mention to our listeners, those that are Dave's correct. Those that aren't familiar with the Pacific League, is that listen, the ball's juiced, and the venues
and they're using the Major League Baseball this year.
That's right. That's right. And these venues are all hitter friendly, so it's a tough measurement to a Tanner Anderson in his first time start, and I would pass on this. It's just one of those. Let's see how he does.
I would lean under because it's a first time.
Yeah.
First time starter, and Morton's been awesome.
I agree. And Oakland, the A's are very unpredictable. Listen, if the A's are hitting the ball, if they're getting the launch variable right, they can hit some home runs, but they're really home run dependent on their runs.
Pittsburgh versus Atlanta. Pittsburgh 37-26 to the over. Atlanta 34-28 to the over. 9.5 on the board. Atlanta is rolling right now. Pittsburgh not. 65% of the money coming in on Atlanta today. Pittsburgh just got swept by Milwaukee. Atlanta just swept the Marlins, but did lose 2-1 in games against Pittsburgh last week. Musgrove versus Gausman, and we talk about Kevin all the time, Dave. When he's got good stuff, he's Chris Sale, and when he doesn't, he's, well, shit.
Yeah, that would be right. I mean, you meant 65% of the money.
Yeah.
Of the tickets, rather, on Atlanta, because the money is showing on the Pirates. And, I can see why. Musgrove remains popular with the market because he's not as erratic as Gausman, but he does fall into that category of you're not sure what you're going to get. And And that's been particularly true of Musgrove. Now, he was really good in his last start. Doesn't mean he will be in his next start. And if you look at his game grades, over the last 3, it's an average. It's way below average, but his last start was good. So he's really tough. I can't see where. And by the way, let me correct that. There was some early money on Pittsburgh, but looks like it's leveling off now. I don't have a choice on this. I like staying away from pitchers that I don't have a feel for, and Musgrove fits that category, and Gausman should fit that category for almost everybody. I don't know if Gausman's going to stay in the rotation much longer because they picked up Dallas Keuchel, and somebody's going to get knocked out of the rotation. And I have a tendency to think they've got more faith in Fultonevich over the long haul, even though he has not been good. More faith in Fulte than Gausman, so he could be pitching for his rotation spot here.
Tony, what do you like in this game?
Gausman's given up 15 combined runs in his last 2 starts. He's not been good. He's been inconsistent. And Dallas Keuchel has, in fact, been signed and will be put in the rotation. And Gausman is, at this point in time, he's the most logical choice to send to the bullpen. And in this situation, and Musgrove, listen, Musgrove, people that don't remember, he was the main component in the Cole trade from Houston, if we remember. Is that correct? I believe that's correct.
Yes.
But he's been inconsistent as well, and his hard contact's a little too high for me.
Boys, Washington just beat San Diego 2 games in a row. They've won 6 of 8. Sorry, Dave?
They had a good weekend.
Yeah, not bad at all. They've won 6 of 8. They're playing the White Sox. White Sox just beat Kansas City 2 games in a row as well. 57% of the tickets on Washington tonight. They're the road favorite at minus 160, 167. The over and under is 10.5. What do you like, brother?
Okay, so here's where good old Ralph Michaels comes through with another of his. Ralph is the numbers king, and got this email this morning on the Nationals, who have been absolutely horrible in series openers. Well, the White Sox have been one of the best teams in baseball in series openers. So if you like the trends, you might be considering taking the price with the White Sox. I am not going to play the game. Anibal Sanchez has pitched really well in his last couple of starts.
Oh, yeah. 0.7 ERA, 0.7 whip, 3-0 his team.
But one thing to remember, he's 2 times through the order, 3 tops, and preferably 2. So he's done after 5 innings, 6 innings at the most. And then you've got that wonderful Washington bullpen to contend with. The White Sox are sending Despagne to the mound. We've seen him on several occasions over the years. Cup of coffee guy. He's never really shown that he can get big league hitters out on a regular basis. I don't think I want to mess with the Nationals going against the Nationals right now. They're really swinging the bats well. But I'll respect those first game of the series trends that Ralph sent out, and that's enough to give me an easy pass on this one.
Tony, how live are the Sox?
Well, the Sox are always live when you're going against a Sanchez. I mean, Sanchez did add some. He made some pitch changes and mixes in the preseason. He's been up and down, inconsistent. I'm one of those that would agree with Dave on Washington's series openers as well. The first thing I look at when I'm looking at Washington is if you look at their splits, it's ridiculous how much better they are against left-handed pitching.
Yeah, I know.
They are. It is absurd how much better they are. So in this situation, I'm with Dave. I pass.
2 games left to go. Remember, everyone, first pitch every Monday to Friday. Starting on Wednesday, Dave Cokin and likely Drew Martin will be handling the shows without me. I'm playing in the seniors event in Vegas. It is with great pain that I'm playing in the seniors event because, frankly, I don't want to be a senior.
How are you in the seniors event? You're still a baby.
Oh, shut up.
This is your debut in the senior class.
It is. But I like that the seniors...
By the way, 50 is not a senior.
No.
Yeah. says two people who...
Senior, I'm a senior now because I'm over 65. Okay, until you qualify for Social Security, at least in this country we have that, you're not a senior.
I was still staying out all night when I was 50.
Yeah, I don't want to get into politics, but...
No, this isn't political.
No, I was just going to say Social Security, that's going to bankrupt your country in 20 years' time.
Well, I paid it in, so I deserve to get it back. All I'll tell you is this. If you feel anything remotely close to a senior at 50, you are in some shit shape, okay? Because I'm 66 and I feel fine.
Do I look like I'm in shit shape?
You'll see. I'll tell you what. I'll bet you'll see some portly 50-year-olds in this tournament.
No doubt.
Luck. Hope you win.
Thanks, brother. Chicago Cubs on the road playing Colorado. Rockies are 2 games above 500. Nobody thought that would happen a month into the season. And the Cubs 10 games above 500. Yet both teams are exactly the same amount of profit for their customers if you bet them on the money line. Lots of money and tickets being written on Colorado today. Minus 130 to 133. The over and under is 11. The Cubs just swept St. Louis. They've won 6 of 7. And Colorado lost their last 2 to the New York Mets. Darvish versus Marquez. You know, we've spoken about Darvish. Every time he pitches, it's like what to do. Who the hell knows? Dave, I go to you first. Tell us.
Darvish has been a lot better lately. He's off 2 pretty good starts. I think his form's decent now. Look, he's still going to walk people. That's just who he is. But his stuff has been pretty good. He's suppressing the long ball now. He wasn't earlier. And I think Darvish is okay. Marquez will have a lot of reason to want to pitch well here because he had a really bad outing at Wrigley Field. And I like it when quality pitchers, not bad pitchers, but when quality pitchers, and Marquez is in that category, are facing a team for a second straight time and got bombed the first time. I have a tendency to think they're going to do a lot better the second time around. So I kind of like Marquez here. I like the spot for the Rockies, even though they're traveling back home. The Cubs are off the Sunday night game against the rival Cardinals and also having to travel. So I think the scheduling dynamics do favor the Rockies. I think you've got 2 plays in this game. I think the starting pitching looks pretty good to me. And, look, I know it's Coors and people have a reluctance to bet the under at Coors. But I think this is a spot where you can look that way. I'm splitting a play here. I'm going to post it at WagerTalk. They'll both be small plays, just 2% plays, but that'll add up to 4% altogether. I'm going to go with the Rockies at about minus 125, and I'm going to go with the under 11 at minus 105 in this ball game, a split play.
Tony Finn?
Listen, it's summer or spring, late spring in Colorado, so Dave covered this pretty well. It's tough for me to trust Darvish against this lineup in Coors. He doesn't have a very even when he was pitching better, even when he's better form. I think his career is 0-3 with about a 5 ERA. And in truth, if you look at Marquez's splits, while he's been better on the road as far as the ERA, that's a given for most pitchers that pitch in Coors. I really like Marquez, and Dave's correct. We almost mentioned it in the last game. I didn't get to it because I didn't have a chance, but this is a really good spot for Marquez. He's a good strikeout pitcher, and if you can keep the Cubs off balance, the Rockies have actually scored more runs than the Cubs this year. So I would go with the home team here. And hold on, 24-11 is who the Cubs are at home. That gives you an idea what they are on the road.
One more game left to go. Just a quick reminder, everyone, head over to sportsmemo.com. Make sure to spend $299 on Andrew McGinnis's Canadian Football League season package. It's going to double your bankroll minimum. He is so good at that sport, it's ridiculous. As well, I have a 5-unit play in NBA tonight. It's $9 at WagerTalk.com, and Tony has a 5-unit big ticket up in baseball tonight. It's also $9 at WagerTalk.com. Dave, Angels versus Dodgers. I want to end this show. Just fill me in.
Look, Griffin Canning is proving to be just what the Angels thought he would be. He's their best pitcher now. He's taken over. He's a rookie, but he's their number one starter at this point, and he might stay that way for quite some time. Very impressive. And I think the Dodgers are going to have a tough time hitting him tonight. But you got Rio on the mound for the Dodgers, and basically you just cannot go against him right now. There is nobody, and I mean nobody in baseball pitching better than Hyunjin Ryu for the Dodgers. His numbers are absurd. And it's no wonder that the money's come in on the Dodgers. That's open at 145. It's gone as high as 170. It's settled in the 160 range now. I'm not going to lay it, but considering the Angels have their numbers against lefties suck anyway, and now they're facing the best lefty out there. Good luck if you want to take the dog. I would only play the Dodgers in this spot.
I mean, this Dodger rotation, Miata tomorrow, Kershaw still, whatever this guy's name is, can't even pronounce it. This team is...
What's so tough about it? It's Ryu, just like it's spelled.
Ryu. I know, I was trying to do the whole thing, with the hyphen. And anyway, 80 innings pitched. A whip of 7.7, an ERA of 1.35. That is ridiculous. And it's exactly the same pretty much in his last 3 games. Pure consistency. Tony, what do you like in this game? And just so you guys know, I can't believe the number over and under in this game is 9. I haven't given out many thoughts on this show, but here is one. This is an under for sure. I mean, this with these 2 pitchers on the mound, yeah, I like the
interesting
under.
Thing is, it's actually gone up.
I don't get it.
8.5 and went to 9. So
I don't get it.
Angels, of a West Coast park, of the venues on the West Coast, LA's Angels Stadium has the ball flies better than any place else. You got about an 8-mile-an-hour wind blowing out, 82 degrees tonight. So and the big question mark isn't Ryu here, it's Canning, and that 9 I think I agree with you, a little high. Here's the deal with Ryu. Eventually he's going to fall. As good as he's been, he's going to fall back to earth for 2 reasons. He has a 93% left on base rate. His strand rate is 90. It's unsustainable. It's not, and his BIP is 239, which is about 50 points better than his career average. So that's it. You can't play against Ryu. The Angels, as Dave said, they're abysmal against southpaws. I mean, horrible. They have an OPS or on base percentage that is lower than what Dave would hit in the Pacific Coast League.
Yeah.
He's Tony Finn. I'm the Prez, Dave Cokin. That's First Pitch, boys. Make sure to watch the last puck time of the year. Alex Andrew and Carmine Bianco. We talk about the Game 7 NHL game on Wednesday night, and also Marco D'Angelo on Morning Joe and the Pro taking apart tonight's Raptor game. Boys, it was a real pleasure. Dave, I'll see you tomorrow with Drew, and we'll figure out while I'm away. Take care, everybody, and thanks for listening.
Good luck, everybody. See you.